just caught me in the middle of making the hazelnut milk for today. So we've been making a different milk for 5 days now. This is the 5th day in the Easy Homemade Plant Milk series. And I've really enjoyed making a different milk every day and having it to drink every day, because although I make them regularly, I don't usually have such a wonderful variety. So today, this is something I make really rarely. This is hazelnut milk, and I am making it a bit thicker than usual because we're going to use it in a recipe. So I soaked 1 cup of blanched hazelnuts overnight. So they're the ones that you buy in the shops. They've already had their skins taken off. And I soaked them in water. Actually, not overnight. I soaked them for about 3 hours. Put them on this morning. And then I strained them and blended them with only 1.5 cups of water. Now, with the other milks, the ratio was always 4 cups of water to 1 cup of nuts. But because this is going to be used in a recipe, it's more of almost a cream, if you like. And I can feel that when I'm trying to squeeze the pulp through the bag, the liquid through the bag and leave the pulp behind, it's a little bit more difficult than it usually is because of the ratio of water to nuts. So it's a beautiful, creamy, white, thick milk. And as with all of the other nuts and seeds, it has all of the benefits really of the others. They're all a little bit different, but all quite similar, high in minerals like potassium and calcium and magnesium and manganese, high in B group vitamins. They have some nuts have more of this one, some nuts have more of that one. That's right, it's a really good idea to alternate the nuts and seeds that you eat. High in antioxidants. Hazelnut milk is high in vitamin E, which is good for your skin and your nails and your hair and your immune system. And I don't know if it's my imagination, but because I've been drinking a different nut or seed milk every day this week, and quite a lot of it, as I said, I don't normally have them every single day, the homemade ones, but I've been feeling fantastic. This morning I just felt so on top of the world. And I mean, it's sunny outside, but it's been sunny all week. And I'm pretty sure that this amazing milk's got something to do with it. My body just loves these nut milks. I'm sure that if you start to drink them regularly, your body will too. So there we go, done that part. So today what I'm going to do, I thought I would make a lovely Nutella mousse. So hazelnut and chocolate, as you know, together is what is the basis of Nutella. And that's a flavour that everybody loves. And if you're vegan, you can't eat Nutella. So people do love to find Nutella alternatives. Now, this recipe originally appeared as part of a complicated cake, this raw Black Forest Gâteau, which is in my book, Divine Vegan Desserts. I'm not actually touting the book today because it is out of print. But if you have one, you'd be able to have a look at this recipe. It's in the English edition. It's actually on the front cover. They thought that was the nicest picture to put on the front cover. So this is an amazing cake, and if you really like making complicated recipes or it's for a special occasion, this is really great. But what we're going to be making is a variation. I've varied it a little bit on this mousse that's in the middle here. So it's a chocolate hazelnut mousse. And it's very, very simple. And this is what I love, and I want to show you how easy it is to put together really simple, beautiful, homemade foods. So what we do is we put this hazelnut milk back in the blender. And then to this, we're going to add 1/4 cup of cacao, raw cacao. 2 tablespoons of carob. And if you saw the earlier video where I was making almond and sesame milk and my happy chocolate smoothie, I go into the benefits of carob and cacao, and I get really excited about them because they're delicious, but they're also amazing for you. Then, in addition to that, we're going to add either the seeds of 1 vanilla bean, if you're feeling flush, or a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I love vanilla. It goes so well with chocolate. And 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. In the last video on pumpkin seed milk, I talked about the different choices of sweeteners that you have and the relative benefits, costs and benefits of the different sweeteners. So today we're having all natural sweeteners, if you like, but as I said in that video, it all boils down to sugar in the body. Although with dates and maple syrup, at least you do get some fiber from the dates and some nutrients. So this is about 1/2 cup of dates. It's 100 grams of dates. If you're using medjool dates, those nice soft squishy ones, you can just take the stones out and weigh 100 grams of them. If you're using the dates that come in a bag, they're a little bit harder usually. So I actually soak these in a little bit of hot water for about an hour first to soften them up. So these aren't medjool dates, but they are a lot cheaper and they're perfectly fine. So they go in and we blend that. So blender alert coming up. And then we're going to add a couple more ingredients. So a pinch of salt. If you remember, I always like to put a little bit of salt in with chocolate. It really brings out the flavour. And this is psyllium husk or psyllium powder. You may have come across this. It's often taken as a fibre supplement. So a teaspoon of psyllium in a glass of water if you need a little bit of extra fibre. But it also works as a really excellent thickener in vegan food. So you can often make a raw mousse with just coconut oil as your thickener. That's, really high in fat. If we add a bit of psyllium husk, it's going to make it a little bit lighter and we don't need to use quite as much coconut oil. So it's 1 teaspoon of psyllium husk and 1/4 cup of coconut oil, which I forgot to melt before I came on today. So I am just melting that in the microwave. Sorry guys, you may prefer to melt your coconut oil just in a bowl, in another bowl of hot water, which will keep it totally raw. But needs must. So we've got 1/4 cup of coconut oil. Which I will need to measure. 1/4 cup is the same as 4 tablespoons. If you're English or Australian, tablespoons are a bit different. Oh no, it's the Australian tablespoons that are different. These are English or American tablespoons. 15 mils per tablespoon, 1/4 cup is 60 mils. And then we're going to finish that off. A little bit more to go through. I love live cooking shows. You have to negotiate all sorts of odd things that happen. We're doing okay though. Okay, so I've got these nice little glasses and I'm just going to pour the mousse in. So it's totally runny now and it will set in the fridge. Now, of course, you could dress. Let's see how easy that was. And it's a beautiful, fancy dessert if you've got people coming over. Well, you can see it's even going to make more than 4. It's probably going to make 5. And you could easily dress that up with some coconut cream or coconut yogurt on the top, some shaved chocolates and some roasted hazelnuts. And I'm going to have a little taste of it right now, let you know what it's like. Yum. It's really good. So thank you so much for joining me for this series on easy homemade plant milks. If you haven't seen the rest of the series, go back and check them out. And I really hope you do try them out. I'm so passionate about making your own plant milk, and I'd love to hear in the comments, wherever you're watching this, in the comments, how you've gone with that. Any questions as well, do just let me know. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day.